I have an update on the video I posted yesterday because I've been using bases for my own operations, and I learned some things that are worth sharing. One is default views, when to use them and how to use them. Also the cards, not as complicated as I thought they might be. And at the end of this, I'll show you the plain text YAML of what a base file actually is. When I was showing bases for property management, I had this base file that included kitchen items and garage items. And then I duplicated this base file so that I could show garage items in one area and kitchen items in another area using those two different bases. And that's really not necessary. I had the mistaken impression that that was a good way to do it because I didn't know that you could specify a default view. Here is the problem if you don't use a default view. If I select a different view for garage, it looks good. I can see my garage items here, kitchen items there. But if I close this and then reopen it, you can see it reverted back to kitchen items in both sections. That is best explained if we look at the plain text version of the file. The garage link and the kitchen link are actually the same link, so they're going to show the exact same thing. But just like you can link to a section of a note, you can also link to a specific view for a base. And that is specifying the default view. So now if we close test assets and reopen it, it jumps to that view because the default has been specified. The garage would be a good use case for cards, which is the other view offered by bases. We'll go to the base file itself. Instead of starting from scratch, I'm going to duplicate the garage view. That way all the filters will be set up. I'll call this cards and give it the layout of cards. They are cards already. Not too interesting because, of course, the image is the big distinguishing factor. We'll go to our first car. I have placed in this file a local image. So this is sitting inside my Obsidian vault of a Camry. And this is what it shows up as. I'll add a property. It can be any property, but I'm going to call it image. And then I will make it a link to Camry. For the other car, also call it image. But in this case, I'm just going to specify a color. We'll make it a dark green. Back to our base file. We'll look at the cards view. And the image is not popping up yet because we need to specify what we want to use for the image. Keep it simple. And I'll show another feature which I really like here, which is that you can adjust this aspect ratio. For me, something like that is about perfect. And then here in test assets, it's showing garage still, so we can specify our default view now as cards, and we'll get our cards. While we're here, we can also add additional information such as the location, the model. Okay, for the cybercab, let's get an actual picture for that. And we can use a picture we grab off the internet. Just get the URL, paste in the URL, and that should be updated. Let's take another look at the source file for what we're seeing. The default view has been specified now as cards. And let's look at that base. The base file is just a YAML file specifying these filters, some other configuration settings like where we are getting that thumbnail image, the aspect ratio of the thumbnail image. So it's all really elegantly done. Anyway, that's the update.